What's up, all you cool snakes and neonates? How's it going? I hope you're all keeping well. In this pillowcase right here, we have a new snake. As you guys have probably seen by the thumbnail, we've got a new dummerils boa. Acrantophis dummerili. We've got a boyfriend for Lilith. This is a big boy. He's just been on a really tricky car journey, so I don't know what kind of attitude he's going to be in. But here he is. He's a big boy. Hello, son. Look at the size of that head. Look at the size of that head. Oh, there he is. Look at that. Look at the size of him. He is a big boy. So as always, the new animals go into quarantine. So he'll go into a quarantine tub where he will stay just to make sure there's no bugs or beasties jumping off of him. Make sure he's healthy before he goes anywhere near the rest of the collection. I'm actually going to build a Viv stack up here for the males for the breeding project, so he might not even leave the room. You might notice on the head there, he's got some scarring. This naughty boy tried escaping and hurt his head. He's a silly lad. So this is going to be Roland, the dummerils boa, Lilith's boyfriend. We're going to put him in his new home because he's a bit stressed out. He's had a hard time of it with this journey. And we'll pick it up soon, in a couple of days' time. And what a good thing it is that we quarantine. Because look where we are. We're at the vets with little Roland. So Roland, he is, I think he might be a little bit poorly. He might, just might, have internal parasites. A couple of days in, I checked on him and I spotted these little bumps here along his side. Now, I don't know his age, nobody really does. I can trace his owners back to about 4 or 5 years ago at least, so we know that he's at least about 5 years old. Older snakes sometimes get lumps and bumps on their side, but he was lined with them all the way up his side. I'm hoping it was just like a cold bump. I've seen some snakes when they're cold from travelling and things like that, get these little spots, little bumps underneath their scales. I'm praying it was that, and our buddy Roland here is fine, but just as a precaution, we've got him here at the vets. Got him at Wallace Veterinary Centres. Never used them. We don't have a reptile vet, as is always the case in Scotland. Now, they wanted a stool sample. Now, anyone that keeps boards knows that they can take about a month to poop. And I didn't want to wait a month. I wanted to get him seen. So I've said to them, I was like, look, when he poops, I'll get a sample sent in and we'll get that sent away. But right now, I just want him seen, see if there's any sort of medication we can give him or get something done as soon as possible for this, because I don't want him in that small Viv that he's in any longer than he absolutely has to be, guys. Okay, so I'll give you guys an update once we come out the other side of the vet, once I've spoken to that vet. So we're back from the vets. The guy was very surprised to see Roland. He was expecting a terrier, and when we went in, a little dog. As feared, the guy didn't have a clue with reptiles, which is so common here in the UK. The poor guy, he was a lovely vet, he was a fantastic guy, and I really appreciated his honesty. He was really honest. He was like, look, I'm going to be honest here, I don't have a clue. And when I left, he actually says to me that he's learned so much from me while he was there. He's learned so much from a commoner like myself. He sat and chatted to me for a while, just learning all about snakes and things like that. And this is a vet, but of course they just deal with dogs and cats and stuff like that. It's not very often you get reptiles in. So, of course, with that, he didn't have a clue about parasites or anything. He didn't want to even charge me for the consultation because he says, well, his words to me were, I don't want to charge you for the consultation because I've learned more from you on reptiles than I've ever known. So he said that I'm leaving that place not knowing what's wrong with Roland. So he didn't want to charge me. Fortunately, I had a word with the boss, and the boss made him charge me for it. But lovely vet nonetheless. I've got his WhatsApp, he's got mine, and we're going to chat. He's going to do some research and stuff. I've left him with the photos. I asked him to speak to another vet at another practice, a different vet surgery in Dundee. He would happily email this vet, but he says he's going to have a word with his boss because that's the competition. I don't really agree with that. I don't care about financial gains. A vet should care about the animal, not the competition. The vet should want to save the animal, in my opinion, and this is the big thing, the big problem that we have around here is nobody wants to do the reptile stuff, and when they do, they want to keep that to themselves, you know? Which is a shame, because it's poor little Roland here that's going to suffer if he does have parasites. Now, I'm hoping he's going to come back to me and there's going to be a generic sort of medication he can give me for these internal parasites. If you guys at home have good knowledge, and I mean you're not stabbing at the dark, you guys have knowledge or know someone that has really good knowledge about medicating or treating snakes, and you guys can get in touch with me. There'll be a link in the description to the Reptile Rich Facebook page, and you guys can hit me up and let me know and sort of give me any advice on this matter. I have been looking at medications and stuff like that, but I would quite like to do it properly through the vet. I do a lot of stuff myself, dealing with elitist prolapses and stuff like that. But when it comes to sticking needles in my snakes, I kind of like to know what I'm doing before I go ahead and do it, you know? But Roland here is doing amazing. He's just going into shed. You can see that sort of pink belly there with the cloudiness. So he's just going into his first shed. He is just an absolute puppy dog. He is a sweetheart, aren't you, son? You are. You're lovely. Still can't get over the size of that head on you. A brute of a head. He might be an old boy. There's a possibility he's old, but he is absolutely lovely. He's a really good boy. Just typical of the dummerils boys, he's very stiff and very rigid. But those bumps seem to have went away, which was why I took him to the vets. I was hoping they were going to be a lot more prudent, a lot more standing out, and he would have been able to at least had something to look at. Unfortunately, he didn't have anything to look at. So he didn't have anything to comment on. I'm just going to have to wait for him to go to the bathroom and give them a fecal sample and just get them to send that away and get that tested for parasites. Is the only thing we're going to have to do. So it's literally going to be a waiting game for Roland here to poop. As soon as he poops, I'm going to have to get it tubbed up and straight down the vet to be sent away to be sent off. It's not a dog or a cat that goes to the toilet twice a day or whatever. But other than that, he's already eaten. He's already had a large rat. He's going into shed now, so we'll see from the shed and all that kind of stuff how good he's doing. Still quarantined, is still on kitchen roll and stuff like that. As soon as he's given the all clear, he'll be given an even bigger viv downstairs with the rest of the collection. Probably I'll have a shift about for the time being, and then up here there'll be another 4-foot stack built for the male breeders and things like that. So this is our new dummerils boa, Roland. He's an absolute sweetheart, and he's doing really well. Now, another point I want to make, guys. I want to thank the people that we got Roland from. Absolutely fantastic people. Of course, I messaged them and was like, this snake might have parasites, it might not 100% sure. And immediately they were like, well, look, we'll refund you your money and stuff like that. I was like, I didn't message you for a refund. I was just making you aware so that you could check your own snakes. Thank you very much, guys. You know who you are. I'm not going to name them because I don't want to give off names and then people will be like, oh, Rich bought a snake from them and it had parasites or didn't have parasites. Because people can be really bitchy in the reptile community. So you guys know who you are. You're absolutely awesome, and they have been absolutely lovely to me since we got them. They've been really fair and keeping in touch and checking on Roland here and how he's doing. So we'll keep you guys updated on how Roland's doing as he goes. But for Roland just now, that's him, and he's doing pretty good just now. We'll just keep an eye on him and we'll watch for him pooping. I'll keep you guys updated. And this is his girlfriend. This is our Lilith. She's doing really well. Look at the difference in pattern though. Look how much more lighter she is and how much more detail there is in her pattern. She's an absolutely stunning version of a dummerils boa. She's going to produce some pretty babies for us in the future, I think, with handsome man Roland. Sir Roland. So Lilith here has got something to tell you guys. It's extremely rare I get bitten. Lilith here had a nibble at Dad. She did. Little Bism. She had a nibble at Dad. Totally 110% my fault. As always with snakes, any bites are the keeper's fault, or in the wild the person messing with theirs fault. Or it's just an accident, they've stood on them. In which case it's neither of their fault. If someone stood on me, I'd bite them too. So she gave me a bite and it was my fault. Now, she has always been drop fed. The dummerils boas seem to be quite shy eaters. Now, they like you to leave the rat in their viv. Roland is the same. He wouldn't eat for me strike feeding, but as soon as I left the rat in the viv, went back half an hour and it was gone. She's always done the same. For the past year or so I've had her. But recently she started strike feeding and she's been ferocious at it. It was Kirsten that noticed at first when she went in to pick her up. She was like, she's got a feeding response on her, she's going to have me. And right enough, she got Dad a few days later. Now, her back was to me like that and I just grabbed her there and immediately she turned around, bam, caught me right on the knuckle. Right here, like this. This was immediately after the bite. And this was next day. And then this was the day after. As you can see, pathetic. And that was from a 4-foot snake. 4-foot snake, as Kristen would say. Yes, you. Silly, you biting dads, you are. Now as you can see, she's not a nasty snake. Not a bad snake in the slightest. She's even used for kids' parties. As you can see here, the kids love her and she's great with them. She's went through training and desensitization and risk assessment and passed them with flying colours. This was all my fault. So from then on we learnt. Now we use the good old hook when it comes to Lilith. We tap train her. From here on in, she'll get a tap with the hook. That's not food, that's Dad. And that's how we'll go forward with her from now on. And to be honest with you, I think we're starting to do it with most of our boads now, because most of our boads are getting bigger. We're even doing it with Roland. We're tap training Roland. This fat lump down here, he gets tap trained too. Don't you, Handsums? Don't you? Yes, you do. You get tap trained. Yes, we see you. So all of them are getting tap trained now. But this is our girl to go with, Sir Roland. So guys, as always, thank you very much for tuning in. Your support means the world. Your likes, subscribes, comments, all that good stuff just are fantastic. We're still climbing past that 500 subscribers mark. We're now like 515. Every day I look on, there's a new subscriber. So guys, keep hitting that subscriber button, please. Sorry, Lilith. Keep hitting that subscriber button. Keep sharing the page and hit that little bell button so that you know when we bring our next video out. We try and do them weekly, if not more, if we can. So thank you very much for tuning in, guys. Take it easy. Peace.